Hi guys, I wanted to come live and bring you guys this story. I know that there is a lot of people looking for information about Kamarie Holland. She was murdered yesterday evening. They found her remains. Please pray for her father and her family. I'm going to go ahead and play this press conference for you because I know that there were some people who were having trouble finding it. So let me get this pulled up. Just 1 second here. Okay. Not sure why the video is sideways. Let me see if I can find a way to fix that. Wonder if we can rotate this. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can pull up a different link. Just a very devastating case. People are saying that the mom is actually connected to this man who they eventually arrested for her murder. And he was found in a hotel yesterday evening. Let me pull this back up. Sorry about that. Okay, and then we will go full screen for you guys. Again, I'm going to play the press conference for you, and then we'll discuss it a little bit afterwards.
We have a disturbing case that we worked last night. Up here with me this morning is Assistant Chief Fitzpatrick from Columbus Police Department and our Chief Deputy District Attorney Rick Chancey from the Russell County DA's office. Yesterday afternoon, Columbus Police Department received a call yesterday morning at about 6:15 that was in reference to a child, Kamarie Holland, who was missing from 1607 Bowman Street, Columbus, Georgia. The mother, Christy Hoskins, called and reported her 5-year-old missing when she woke up, was not in the house. Kamarie is the daughter of Christy Hoskins and Corey Holland. Corey lives here in Phoenix City. Columbus Police Department began working this case and did a lot of great work and developed Mr. Jeremy Tremaine Williams as a suspect in the kidnapping of Kamarie. When Mr. Williams was developed, they called the sheriff's office here and asked us to help them with the kidnapping case. They had some information that he could be over here in Phoenix City. We began working with CPD at that time, and it wasn't long after that that we located Mr. Williams at the Bamboo Hotel on Opelika Road. He had been there for a short period of time, and he had his uncle with him. According to the hotel officials, they had been there about 30 minutes prior to us locating them there. During this time of the investigation, we had received information that Mr. Williams had lived in Phoenix City at an address that was currently vacant. Agents went to that address, and it was at that time that we found the body of Kamarie Holland. She was deceased, and the manner of death at this time looks to be asphyxiation. It did appear from the scene that there was some sexual abuse. She has went for an autopsy this morning already, and we have investigators there, and we are anticipating that the post will tell us that there were sexual abuse of the child, and hopefully we'll be able to recover DNA as well. Around after that, of course, Mr. Williams is from 1029 Dozier Street in Columbus is his address. He was placed in custody and has been charged with capital murder in Alabama. We will handle the case moving forward and the prosecution of the death of Kamarie. You know, it's a sad time to have to speak about a 5-year-old who we're having to work a case on a child who absolutely did nothing wrong. And it's sad. The Columbus Police Department and my office has done a lot of work in a short period of time. This case is still ongoing and very early. There's a lot of details that I'm not willing to disclose at this time because of the urgency in this case and potential other folks that we may be looking into as suspects or offenders alongside Mr. Williams. Mr. Williams will go to court today at 3:30, and he will be, I would imagine he would be assigned an attorney from here, and his capital murder case will move forward. I know a little bit about Mr. Williams. He has several involvements in his past with children. He has a couple of cases where he was actually charged with abuse of children in Phoenix City or here by a sheriff's office here in 2009, and then he was acquitted by a jury in 2012 of that case, and then he has been charged in Columbus as well of abuse of a child. In that case, I'm not sure of the outcome. And then we have information where he was a suspect in a 1-year-old death in Alaska, where he was a suspect but never charged because of not able to get enough evidence in that case. So I feel confident that we have the offender in custody, and that our work in this case and our autopsy at the state will produce enough evidence to get a conviction on Mr. Williams for the capital murder of Kamarie. I will allow the chief and Mr. Chancey an opportunity to comment. After they comment, if y'all have some questions, we'll try to answer them. Please keep in mind that this is extremely early and we are not done with this investigations by any stretch of the imagination. So, you know, what we give out is going to be limited, and I just ask that you understand that up front. Chief.
Thank you, Sheriff. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Sheriff Heath Taylor for his crew helping us with this case. And I want to commend the men and women of the Columbus Police Department. This started early on yesterday morning. A lot of us was on our way to work. We heard the call go out, and the men and women of the Columbus Police Department worked until the night, and still they are there this morning because we have a 5-year-old baby who is now deceased. So that shows you the dedication and the high level of efficiency that we have in working with our missing children. Also, on another note, when we got over to the scene last night, Sheriff, your team was already on hand and doing what they were supposed to do and making sure they had everything from our team. So we worked collaboratively together with Russell County, and we want to thank you for that relationship that we do have with you guys. Other than that, like the sheriff said, this is an early on investigation. Obvious reasons we cannot disclose a lot of details about it, but the number one priority is getting closure for this baby who was taken away from us at this time of year. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff. Thank you, Chief. It is not a pleasant experience to go through what's been happening the last day. To see what this family has gone through, from not knowing until knowing late last night what happened to this 5-year-old child. And I would ask that the community's thoughts and prayers remain with this family, because this is just a horrific experience that they're going through, and the information that they are learning about what Kamarie went through is just awful. So I would ask the community to send us your thoughts and prayers, but respect their privacy as they're going through a very, very emotional time here, as you can imagine. The District Attorney's Office, Mr. Ken Davis, my boss, has been following this case through information given to us by the Columbus Police Department and by Sheriff Taylor, and we've been kept up to speed throughout the course of the evening and the night, going through everything that went on last night. And I know there was a lot of silence about what was going on through the night, but there was a lot of details that were being run down through the night, and I want to thank the Columbus PD and Sheriff Taylor and his crew. It's just an amazing job that they processed through this night and sifted through all this evidence. There's still a lot of evidence to go through. I have seen some of it. We are being made aware as it comes in, whether it's through the autopsy or other evidence that's being gathered, witnesses are being interviewed. So this is an ongoing case. I'm not really going to comment on the evidence that we have, but I will say this from Mr. Davis, keeping him up to speed on what's been going on. The defendant in this case has been charged with a capital offense. Under Alabama law, that means that if he is convicted, he will be facing either life without parole or the death sentence. If the facts turn out to be as we are seeing them unfold, I have been speaking with Mr. Davis a lot on this case. This will be a case in which the death penalty will be sought if the facts continue to unfold as we're seeing them. This is a long process. The Sheriff's Department's still got a lot of work to do. They got a lot of leads to follow up on. As Sheriff Taylor said, the defendant today will be brought into court, read his charges. We're asking no bond be set and that he be held without bond pending further developments and orders of the case. So his 72-hour hearing will be today. After that, he'll be assigned an attorney if he cannot afford one. He will be given an opportunity to speak with attorneys and request what's called a preliminary hearing. It'll be set at a future date, which will be a public hearing. And at that point in time, he'll be able to see the evidence against him and understand what he's charged with at the preliminary hearing process, and then on to a grand jury sometime in the spring or early summer. But this is a developing case. The deputies and investigators in this case have got a lot of work still to do. They've done a lot through the night. I appreciate all they've done. And we're going to follow this closely. And again, our thoughts and prayers are with this family. Y'all keep them in your prayers this holiday season. Thank you, Sheriff.
All right, we will take as many questions as we can. Yes, ma'am.
Did he have any kind of relationship with the victim's family? Did he know them in any type of way?
At this point, we believe that the mother and the offender did have a relationship, not from a dating perspective, but did know each other. Chuck?
Do you anticipate additional charges either in Alabama or in Georgia for any additional suspects or in this case?
So in the state of Alabama, there are 13 or 14 things that cause a case to be a capital murder.
Yeah.
One is that the victim is under 14. We have charged him with that currently. I suspect that we will also try to charge him with, once the evidence is completely in, with capital murder during kidnapping and potentially capital murder during a rape. So those are all different things that would be a separate charge, but I expect that we will have some additional charges at probably grand jury down the road that we would present to a grand jury. As to CPD, obviously the chief and their district attorney, I would imagine, would confer with each other and see if there's something else that they would want to do, or if they would just lend all of their evidence and all the things to the cases that we have, which would be a potential death penalty case anyway.
Are y'all still investigating, Chief Fitzpatrick?
We are, we're working right now.
There's an ongoing investigation in Columbus as well as an ongoing investigation in Phoenix City.
Yes.
Yeah, we will work this case jointly from here to the time it goes to court.
One follow-up question, this will be for Mr. Chansey. Is this case, hold on, it'll be for you, Sheriff, I apologize. How were y'all able to identify Mr. Williams as a suspect so rapidly?
There were several things that CPD were working on early. I don't want to disclose some of those because of the nature and because of what we have to do in the future. But he was developed by CPD early, probably midday yesterday, and that's how when they called us, we were looking for him. Yes, ma'am.
Was he on the sex offender registry?
No, he was not.
Question: people at the Beechwood Motel say he frequents that area often to come there and do his drugs. Was this drug related?
We're looking into that. It's very possible that there was potential drug relations to it, but we're not going to know that right now. We do know that he frequented the hotel, and we also know that we believe he sold a little bit of drugs off and on, maybe to support his own habit. We're not sure, but we're looking into all of those things. Yes, ma'am.
And I don't know if this is giving too much detail, but I know you said the mother was asleep when Kamarie was gone. So is it safe to say that maybe Williams was at their home and that's how he managed to get Kamarie?
Well, again, the report that was made by the mother to Columbus Police Department was that when she woke up, the daughter was gone around 5:50 in the morning, and that the front door was open. She doesn't say that he was there, and we're looking into all the possibilities of how that occurred. Obviously this started in Columbus, and it ended in Phoenix City. So our agencies will cooperate and collaborate with all of the evidence on both sides of the river to make this case. I have no doubt that we'll be able to do that, and we will be successful in doing that. So, yes, ma'am.
Is the uncle being considered an accessory?
No, I think they were able to confirm the things that he told us, how recently he had been picked up, and those types of things. I believe that everybody feels pretty safe that he wasn't an accessory to any of what went on prior to being picked up.
Is the mother a suspect?
The mother has been spoke to. We're going to speak to her again. I don't know how she's going to turn out, to be honest with you. She may be perfectly fine. She may not be. But that's just part of the investigation.
Do you guys know if there's any kind of motive to this at all?
I definitely think the motive was a sexual encounter.
You mentioned that the mother and the suspect had a relationship, but it wasn't an intimate relationship, if you will, and you said that he's a known drug dealer. Was he selling her drugs, and was she high when she was asleep? Or?
We're not getting into all that at this time. It's too early. There's so much to look into before anybody can make those comments. So it's just not ready for that.
Do you know what happened around what time the mother went to sleep? Or you guys just know she said she woke up at around 5 when she was gone?
I mean, I think her statement was that she went to bed around midnight, and then woke up at 5:50. So.
And do you guys know if Kamarie was asleep as well when she went to bed?
That's what she says.
Okay.
How long has she been deceased before you guys found her?
It's hard to tell. It was very cold, which affects, rigor mortis and the condition of the body. So it was hard to tell. We're hoping that the autopsy will be able to give us more information on the body itself and those types of issues. Yes, ma'am.
Can you confirm the time that Kamarie was pronounced dead?
I believe it was somewhere around 11:30 last night that the coroner pronounced her.
And she was pronounced dead in that home.
Mm-hmm.
Can you give the address or the area where she was?
It was
found?
1001 15th Avenue, Phoenix City, which is a vacant home, an old residence of Mr. Williams.
And last question for me, since you guys said Kamarie.
You sure it's the last one?
I apologize.
It's okay.
Was Kamarie still in her night clothes, or was she dressed regularly, or can y'all not answer that?
I don't want to talk about any of her condition.
Okay.
How hard is this case? You know, Christmas is next week. We're talking about a missing 5-year-old here. What's the toll does this take on you guys as law enforcement, seeing how widespread this is?
Well, it started as a missing 5-year-old, and it's ended with the death of a 5-year-old and the sexual abuse of a 5-year-old. So it's extremely difficult. I don't care who you are. I've been in this business for 35 years, and it never is easy to watch a case like this or to even have to investigate it. And if somebody tells you that it is, they need to get out of the business. It's tough. It's extremely difficult. And I think every person from CPD that first took the report to the investigators that I had here last night will never forget this case, ever. And it's difficult.
Can Chief Fitzpatrick tell us how CPD quickly developed the leads it did that usually when a missing person comes out, you can tell on our end. There was a lot of attention coming out of the police department yesterday about, hey, we're still looking, and there were releases and stuff. When did y'all realize you may have something more than a missing person?
And Chuck, I'm gonna have to reiterate what the sheriff has said. The men and women of the Columbus Police Department, because of the specialized units that we have, and we're blessed to have those specialized units. It just took a lot of collaboration with teamwork between 2 units in the Bureau of Investigative Services, and to pick up the phone and call the Phoenix City Sheriff's, the Russell County Sheriff's Department, and put the 2 and 2 together. So that's how we developed the lead, by working together.
Last question. Was this ever a murder case in Columbus, or was this always a missing persons and became a murder case in the Russell County jurisdiction?
I can only tell you from my agency is that we had a missing person report.
Yeah.
And
I think that's 100% accurate. I think that we were all working it as a kidnapping out of Columbus that we thought may have came into Phoenix City. And then when we found the body, that was when we knew, obviously, that we had a homicide. But up until then, everybody was working to get this child back.
Did PCD have any involvement?
I think they were called for a few minutes at the address, but when they realized that we were involved and I had called Chief Smith and told him that we were going to handle the case, that was all their involvement. Anything else? I appreciate your understanding of us having to be a little bit vague. Please understand and know that if we have further developments, if we have further arrest or anything in this case, we will let you know. As Mr. Chancey said, our Chief DA, please keep this family in your prayers. It's difficult for any family to go through something like this of a 5-year-old, but most especially when it's the holiday season. So, please keep them in mind and keep them in your prayers. Thank you.
All right, that's live coverage of Sheriff Heath Taylor and then Assistant Police Chief in Columbus. That's Joyce Dent Fitzpatrick, who was standing there off to his left on your television screen, and quite frankly, that's a lot to unpack. The simple way to put this is that a little 5-year-old girl who was looking forward to Christmas in a week or so, maybe Santa Claus coming to visit.
So that was the press conference, you guys. And this is Witch Baby in the Bushes. This is about Kamarie Holland. She was kidnapped yesterday, early in the morning, sometime between 12 a.m. and 5:50 a.m. And they found her deceased in a vacant home in Alabama. She was kidnapped from Georgia. She was found deceased in a vacant home around 9 p.m. in Alabama, and she was essayed and murdered. They believe by asphyxiation by this man in the picture here. His name is Jeremy Williams, and he had an extensive record. You heard them talk about that a little bit. He's been arrested multiple times for assault against a child and abuse of a child. And then there was the case in Alaska that he was their main suspect in, the death of a 1-year-old baby. And unfortunately, they didn't have enough evidence to prosecute him in that. I do want to say sorry in advance for anybody who's new to my channel. I do have kids. They are awake, so you're probably going to hear that at some point. So this is just a devastating case because of the way everything went down. The way that the police are speaking, though, it makes me wonder what exactly the connection is with the mom. We know that they had some type of relationship that was not romantic. We have heard about talks about drugs, so I'm not sure if potentially this could have been her drug dealer or just somebody that she knew from work, etc. However, there is something else that is being brought up just recently. Let me show you guys. Hold on, let me hide my screen for a second while I get to it. He was actually just recently fired from his job for sexual harassment as well. So let me get to where I'm going here. And so like this guy, he's just not a good guy. You know, this is one of those deaths that most likely could have been completely avoided if we had harsher penalties for these criminals instead of just letting them walk free time after time after time. We see that they do not change. You know, this behavior for them is just, you know, it's ingrained in them. This is who they are. And once you get a sexual predator against children, like there's no fixing that. They need life in prison at least. I feel the first offense, not, oh, let's just keep putting them out on the road over and over again to just wait and see. The crime's not bad enough yet. And then we end up with cases like this where this poor 5-year-old was, you know, assaulted and murdered. I do want to stress they do not think that the uncle who he was arrested with, like the uncle wasn't arrested, but he was in the hotel with the uncle, his uncle. They do not believe that his uncle is involved from what I'm understanding, because he had just been picked up. So I do want to stress, like, please don't dox that man. Don't share his information, stuff like that. You know, he is most likely a completely innocent bystander in all of this. So let me show you. I couldn't find much on Facebook about it last night, except for her father saying she was like a princess. Yeah, so everything was really hush-hush, and the alert was pulled down at around 9 p.m. And let's see. It would have been around 9 p.m. and then Local My Life went live around 10:30 or so. And I had sent her a message letting her know, hey, they pulled the alert down. And she had already covered that earlier in the video and said, that she was still missing. The family hadn't been notified, and she had been contacted by the family letting her know that she was still officially missing. They didn't know anything. But anytime that you see an alert like that get pulled down with them not saying that she was found safe, my heart kind of dropped, because at that point, you fear for the worst. So of course they weren't going to say that they found her deceased at that point, because unfortunately they didn't have him in custody until around 11, I want to say. So it took a little bit of time between the two situations for him to actually be taken into custody after they found her. My heart just breaks for this family. I couldn't imagine going through what they are right now. But so everything was kind of confusing on Facebook. We had seen a post about somebody had taken a picture of the hotel that he was found at and said that police had just been there recently and that it was swarmed with police. And it was in reference to this case. However, there was no confirmation of that. And so, with social media, you have to be careful and tread lightly with what you discuss and what you show, because for all we know, it could be a complete lie. Unfortunately, people do lie and make stuff like that up. But we know now that that post was likely true, because they did, in fact, take him into custody at that hotel. And so, like I said, guys, I just wanted to come on and share this press conference for those of you who couldn't find it and couldn't see it, and get this information out there for those of you who were looking for it for her case. We are still looking for the mother's social media links. If you have it, please send it to sleuthmom12@outlook.com. And I'll go ahead and put that in the chat as well. That way we can kind of dig a little bit deeper into perhaps their connection and look at that a little bit more, you guys. And I know that Local My Life, she is about 4 or 5 hours behind me because she is in Hawaii. So I'm sure she's going to wake up devastated to this news for those of you who watch her channel. So here is the link for my email account. If you guys have any information that you want to send over in regards to this or any other case, honestly, I do kind of jump around for different missing children. And so anything that you guys want to send or any cases that you want me to look into, I will be more than happy to take the time to look into them. This channel is all about trying to investigate and cover the children who are not getting coverage. I do touch on a few adults here and there, but I do primarily look into children. But I'm not against looking into an adult if they need help getting their story out there as well. So, but that's all I have, you guys. I got to go take care of my kiddos. So I'm going to get off here, and I will talk to everyone later. Thank you so much. Keep this family in prayers, please.